Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Get up in the morning, slaving for bread stir, so that every mouth can be fed. Oh, the Israelites. My name is Matthew Keel. This is Story Route Zero episode. I forgot. That was Desmond Decker, and I'm joined by three lovely people. We're going to start with the transplant masshole this week. How are you, Michaela?
I am good. Mostly good, yeah. Back at work, but good.
Okay, how was the week off?
It was good. Sunny days, went outside a lot, went for a lot of walks, played a lot of video games, read a book, all the stuff that you don't do when you're working.
Nice. And fresh off of completing the Remnant From the Ashes DLC, Jason Marshall, Jazz Hands himself. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Hands.
And last but certainly not least, the man that can rise to a challenge when it comes to Fall Guys, Moose Goddamn Cool.
Yeah.
So last week it was a rare thing to see all of us in a PSN party playing games together, and we were playing Fall Guys, and Michaela was having an issue installing it, and Moose gets to the final round, and I say, if you don't get this crown, you can't brag about carrying us on the show. Moose got himself a fucking crown, so he can brag.
Carried all of them. All of them.
So, other than that, how are you, Moose? Good?
Doing well, man.
How was your weekend? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up? Cool. Jason, Michaela, what were your highlights this weekend?
Oh, she got two.
Michaela does the two thumbs up.
She was finishing a week off, so she was just like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you're finishing the week off, the weekend is the worst part of it. Because like, man, I got to fucking work next week.
No, I squeezed every single minute out of that weekend. Are you kidding me?
Nice. What'd you do?
So I think I managed to put in about 50 hours into P5R. So I'm about to do the boss fight in Futaba's palace. So I'm at the end of the fourth palace, just squeaked into August.
Nice. Yet here we are at the end of August, so
yeah,
almost caught up.
Almost caught up to real life. The game is real life. Really enjoying that. A lot more is different than I was expecting, because I expected them to add content, obviously, like with the new characters, new party member, new confidants, new storylines, a longer game, etc. But they're also changing a lot of mechanics, which I wasn't expecting. And for the most part, they're good, but they are changing the boss fights. So like the second phase of every boss has been different than it was in base Persona 5 so far.
No shit.
Yeah, which hasn't been that bad, but the Madarame fight kicked my ass. And it was one of those where it's like, okay, it's like after midnight. Oh, I know this boss fight. I'm going to bang it out real quick. It'll be fine. An hour and a half later, I'm like...
I wish we were live, and I wish we had viewers so I could tell someone, clip Moose's no and make that a GIF. Go.
Nope. Whenever you think you can finish something real quick before bed, nope. The game will rise up and smack you down. So yeah, that happened. But nope, we're fine. I'm now probably a little over leveled. I did like the fourth palace in one day, like the whole thing in one day. But yeah, so did that. Reading an Eric Larson book. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Eric Larson. Mm-hmm. He writes nonfiction novels, which is some of the most impressive stuff I have ever read.
Nonsense.
What has he written?
His most famous one is probably Devil in the White City.
Oh, okay. Heard
Yeah.
of. I almost bought that book.
Highly recommend. I read that one last year. It's about the Chicago World's Fair and a serial killer that stalked the Chicago area as his hunting ground during that time period. And it is a nonfiction novel, not a historic fiction novel. So it's a history book delivered in narrative form.
Yeah, I've seen documentaries about that. That particular serial killer is fucking wild.
Yes, H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
So right now I am reading Thunderstruck. So I walked to a park and was reading Thunderstruck, which is about the invention
One of my
the
favorite
wireless.
AC/DC songs.
Yes, good song. Yeah, it's about the invention of the wireless communication system by Marconi, and a cross-Atlantic murder shortly before the sinking of the Lusitania. And I also have a book by him about that. So very good there. Played some game club game yesterday mostly. And this is kind of childish, but I really love Avatar and never gave up on the showrunners for that. And I got my roommate to watch Dragon Prince, and we finished that this weekend as well.
Okay.
Really enjoyed
You're
that.
so immature.
I know, I'm 5 years old. It's fine.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Throwing shade. Throwing shade out here.
Well, I don't want to tell you what I've decided to do. Because I've decided to start watching anime and write about it. So yeah. Like, Jason's like, I don't know what to do. This guy Moose is already shaking his head, but not nearly as funny as he was before. Anything else, Michaela?
No, that was it.
Okay. So, Mr. Mature Jazz Hands, how was your weekend?
Good. I made progress on my Fallout Pip-Boy. I built the unit. Maturity. Boom. And I watched a lot of the DC Fandom, which up to Saturday, I thought it was DC Fandom. I didn't realize why and then I was like, wait, are they calling it Fandom? Like Thunderdome? I'm like,
M-E? Like DONE.
yeah, and I was like, oh, no, I'm going to stick with Fandom. But I enjoyed a lot of that. There was some cool stuff they showed.
Yeah, isn't that where Batman Gotham Knights, isn't that where that was revealed?
Gotham Knights,
Gotham Knights,
Suicide
yeah.
Squad, the Suicide Squad
The
movie,
Batman.
the Wonder Woman trailer,
Yep.
the Black Adam teaser.
The
Okay.
Batman.
Yeah.
Wasn't there maybe they might announce it there, but they're due. I'm kind of excited for it, but it's kind of like a footnote. But the Long Halloween is getting an animated movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was announced there. It probably was. Okay,
Yeah.
then yeah. So that's exciting because I like.
That's
a good. That's
one
a
of the
good.
best. Yeah, that's one of the best Batman comics.
They haven't done one for Hush yet, have they? Correct.
No.
Like an animated.
That's
Like
another
that would
good
be
one.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be because I have the hard cover of Hush, and I have just the paperback of Long Halloween. It'd be really cool to see.
Well, we'll make
Hush.
a note when these get closer. We'll have Todd Oxford back on, the expert.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
No,
Yeah.
but our Gotham Knights look cool. I'm not a huge fan of the characters, but the Suicide Squad, there's like Sunset Overdrive influences there, the way it looks.
Okay.
And it's 1 to 4 players, but if you play solo, you have AI teammates, and you could switch between them, and I thought that was pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Moose, any highlights from your weekend?
Just a lot of video games.
Cool.
About it. Some good beer.
Awesome. Most of the highlights that I could talk about, actually, for some reason I'm blanking on yesterday. I know Reba and I hung out and it was a pretty good day. But other than that, like the highlights I could talk about will probably be what Jason just pointed at behind him, because he and I did that. And other than that, like I said before, I decided to start writing again. I'm going to start writing about anime, and I chose that because I don't know a lot about it, and I've not seen a ton, so I just figured it's a way to get myself exposed to more. So
Nice.
that's what I'm going to do. That'll be on my website starting soon, hopefully this week. And game time. Michaela, you had a week off.
Yes.
Did you play anything other than Persona 5 Royal and Game Club Game?
All
Royale
right,
with
with you
cheese.
guys. Yeah.
Royale with cheese.
Persona 5 with Royale with cheese.
No, I pretty much focused on Persona 5,
Okay.
Game Club Game, and then I played Fall Guys with you guys. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I might have done. I don't
She's
think
shown
so.
interest. She's shown interest in both Borderlands and Remnant.
I never should have said that out loud.
Ooh. I didn't know about Remnant. But I knew about Borderlands.
I don't own Remnant, so Borderlands is prior. My goal, I would like to play Borderlands.
Point of order, Michaela, you don't own Remnant yet.
Yes.
Yes.
I will gift that.
Also-
I will gift that game.
Jeez, that's an addict, ladies and gentlemen.
Just
That's
let
a
me
fucking
know.
addict.
Let me know your Venmo. I'll help you out. It's fine.
Oh, but I mean, I do want to play Borderlands since it's been in the backlog for 9 months now, since I got it. My goal is to hypothetically, not promising this, play it before these mystical, non-existent next-gen consoles launch.
You could do it. You could totally do it if we started it this week. Totally. It's only like maybe a month worth of work, not even.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe.
Are you talking about all the Borderlands or
just Borderlands 3?
Just Borderlands 3? Oh, yeah. I mean, really, you could probably beat Borderlands 3 in a weekend.
Yeah.
But,
well,
you couldn't leave the house. Like, that's really it.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to be focused on P5 because it's a long-ass game.
It is.
But I will say this. I am only in the 4th palace, but I already have more than half of the trophies because they very severely streamlined the trophies for Royal versus the base version. So I'm thinking I'll go for the Platinum in this one. And it feels kind of cheap if I go for it, though, because the Platinum is so much easier than base Persona 5s.
No.
My name
Don't
is
cheapen
Mayo
your
says hi.
achievement. Don't cheapen your achievement.
No,
Don't cheapen your achievement.
Because I think I can platinum it in one playthrough if I'm careful.
Okay.
Because you no longer have to max all confidants. You only have to max all your social stats, so you don't have to max all your the social relationships with other people. You only have to max one of them, which is super easy to do. You do need to max your stats, your social stats. You no longer need to complete the Persona Compendium for the Platinum, which is huge.
God, that's huge.
Huge. So those are two of the biggest roadblocks to doing the Platinum. Because in order to Platinum the original, you pretty much have to do 2 playthroughs because you can't max your social stats and all confidants in one playthrough. You really can't do it.
Could you do it? But just not, you basically have to have the calendar out, and you have to.
Maybe somebody has done it, but you'd have to use a guide from minute 1, make 0 mistakes, and probably do save scumming to unlock the other trophies and stuff to do it all in one playthrough. But I don't think it's feasibly doable to Platinum Persona 5 in one run.
Yeah, I think I saw a trophy guide somewhere. I think it's like you need 1.5 to.
Yeah.
I think you could do all the social links stuff in one, but you can't. You can't do like the blue room boss.
Yeah, you can't
in
do
one.
No, so you need to do at least 1.5 playthroughs of the original game. This one, I think I can do it in one because they removed a lot of the trophies that were like the big ones. Like you don't have to max all confidants. You don't have to finish the Persona Compendium, which is huge because that's an expensive undertaking when you get down to like the really complicated fusion stuff, and you need guides up the wazoo for that. Then they removed a couple of, like, you don't have to read all books, you don't have to buy all drinks anymore. Like, they very much streamlined it. Just like participate in all the activities and do a couple certain skill-based things, but it's really a simple Platinum now for Royal. So it feels a little cheap, but I think I'll do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because here's the thing, Michaela. There are ways to cheese trophies, like in general. Like we've all played Souls games. We all know that like you could cheese one of those trophies just by cheesing the boss. They set up these trophies, so if it's weak, it's on them, not on you.
Yep. Well, yeah, because I had
So-
thought about platinuming the original Persona, but
Mhm.
that took me 135 hours to beat it the first
Yeah.
time, and I finished with about 65% of the trophies. I'm only 50 hours into this one, and I've already got over half of them. So this one is much more streamlined, like
Yeah,
insanely.
as a fellow Persona fan, I think it's silly for you not to platinum this one.
Yeah. So
And
I
that's
think-
not like a trophy thing. That's just kind of like you're there already. You might as well.
But yeah, that's definitely gonna be my focus.
Now I
for-
forget how many dungeons there are in 5.
The original there were 7, so
And now,
I don't know.
Now
if-
there's like an 8th, I think.
I don't know. I've been very good about avoiding spoilers for Royal. I did. Like I was taken by surprise by a lot of these new mechanics. Like last time I talked about how they changed how guns work. They also added different like these new finishing attacks called Showtime attacks. They changed a lot of stuff mechanically. They added a bunch of shit to Mementos. Like a whole new character that's just like living down in there now. And he's got different features and stuff like that. There's new persona in there. They changed a bunch of mechanics that I weren't expecting them to change. So it is definitely a different experience. It doesn't feel like a straight replay at all, which is good. But that will be my focus for now because it's going to take a while. Probably conservatively, at least another 50 hours, if not more than that. Because
And you're still at less time than you were in base Persona.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I just don't know. Since I've avoided spoilers, I don't know. I know that it goes beyond the month where the original game ends. I know there's more content. I just don't know how much more. I don't know if it's another dungeon. I don't know how the new, like, that redheaded girl gets incorporated into the team. Like, I know very little about her, except I do know, like, some things. I know, like, you know how every single one of them is, like, damaged in some way? I know what her damage is, essentially. They changed how Akechi works. His confidant is no longer story-based, like Sai's or Morgana's.
Okay.
You have to voluntarily hang out with him, so that makes me want to bang my head against the wall because I hate him.
Yeah, I didn't like Akechi either.
No, but unfortunately, his perks are worth it. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Persona, Genko
Well,
Babe.
what's the arty? Is it Yusuke?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's shitty too.
I don't particularly. I call him useless a lot.
Yeah. No, he's
Yeah. I don't particularly like
Yusuke sucks.
he hits hard. He's one of the top 2 physical hitters in the
Mhm.
game. Otherwise, yeah. But yeah, and also we were talking about this before we got started here, but the controls, they added the option to invert in Fall Guys, so I will definitely be going back to that now.
Yes.
So I can play in my heathen ways
Hey, you know.
Hey, heathen, you do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
with my backwards brain.
I mean, some would say that's the right way.
That's true.
I think originally I played inverted all the time. And then I don't know what happened to where I think I probably came across the game where I just couldn't invert anymore and just played it enough that like that was just the way. Jason, Moose, who wants to go
Who's
next?
gonna go?
How's Division?
Good. Hit a bunch of milestones this week.
Nice. I overheard you got 100.
So I polished off season 2. Season 2 is done and in the books. I've also, so there was so each week, so there's 2 weeks to each like manhunt.
Mhm.
So there's you hunt 4 people, and then the last 2 weeks you hunt like the agent, the big manhunt
bad.
for the season. So the
Yeah.
season's like 3 months long, and you get 2 weeks to hunt 4 guys, and then you get 2 weeks to hunt the last guy. But so the beginning of the week they'll launch the I didn't even figure this out till this week. But the beginning of the week they'll launch, like, so Tuesday they'll launch the new manhunt for the new guy, and then the second week that he is available they do a league which is basically, this week it was headshots and weak points. And so like you earn like all kinds of different gear. So I hit max level before that ended, which was 60. So I got a lot of cool stuff in that. This week I also unlocked every single specialization that you can get.
Nice.
My last specialization was the technician, which I unlocked. I also learned that, Jason, you'll appreciate this. Unlike Diablo or like so the level for your Shade Watch is the same amount of experience every single level. It's 70,000 experience every level. So like it's not like it increases by like,
It's not logarithmic.
500,000 each time you go to a level. So I found a way to where I could basically grind missions and get like 1 or 2 levels each mission. So I figured out, I was talking about it with Marco last night. Like we were talking about Division 2. We were just both like, I'm like, dude, I feel like I've hit my end game with this game. Not that I want to stop playing it, but I want to get back to what is over Jason's right shoulder, or left, looking at him.
It's over both.
I want to
shoulders,
platinum that.
Basically right behind him.
But so I figured I want to work towards, so maxing out all stats on the Shade level, I'd have to reach level 1000, and I'm 366. So it's something to work for, but I'm not going to like bang my head against the wall trying to do it. So I feel like I'm just going to go back to Division when there is like a manhunt, when there's an event going on, or if Marco wants to play. And I am. I'm switching over to Remnant because I do want to knock out. I think I haven't gotten a platinum this whole year. We're in August. And I used to be a co-host of Nerds Gone Platinum, and I don't have a platinum this year. And even though I like Thimbleweed Park, and that could have been my first platinum for the year, I want it to be a platinum for this year, but not the first one. So I'm be going back to Remnant for my first platinum of the year, like to get all these DLC on that. And I do want a platinum Division too. So like I have a roadmap to like not like never playing again, but just to like being like, we've had our fun, sweetheart. It's time for me to dance with somebody else. You know what I mean? And I also have access to Mortal Shell, which I hear is amazing, and I really want to get back to playing that. So I feel like trying to like polish off whatever I'm trying to do with Division would be smart. So, but a lot of Division. Played Fall Guys with y'all.
Yep.
Carried Team Sweat when I had to.
Did.
Which was good. I will say, like,
it was awesome. Like it was so cool just to see that happen. All of us were there.
I was like, he's got it. You can hear me in the video. I'm like, oh, he's got it. And then like the idiot just jumped too soon. And then I had 2 goons in front of me, and I'm like, and then I don't even know. It's subconscious that you remember, just run circles, like little circles, and you'll like carry your momentum, but you won't like move forward. And so waited, and then those 2 guys just fell off because they were idiots. And luckily, I beat the guy that was behind me to grabbing the crown. But Fall Guys is a lot of fun. For me personally, they have a bunch of stuff to fix before I think I could play it. So like, I feel it's because when we spectate, like the patch they released this week, like I have to scroll like through 40 people to find one of you guys if we're playing together. Yeah, I'm like, this is boring as all hell. Like, you know, even if I find you, you might be disqualified before I find you. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is the point? And then also, I don't feel it's as addictive as Rocket League was, just because Rocket League was constant action all the time. Even if you lost a round, like you're going right into the next soccer match and you're playing. Whereas in this, it is kind of fun watching other people, but like I sit there and like the thought in my mind is always like same thing with watching movies and TV. I'm like, I could be playing video games. I could be playing something. I could be like doing something in Division right now. I could be progressing my PvP characters for Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. I could be attempting my deathless Bloodborne run or something like that. And I just sit there and and I'm watching Fall Guys. So I don't know. I also think like the grabbing people and dragging them down is cheap. I think you need to have like an offensive, like you need to have like a punch or something, like a push. Doesn't even need to be a
Slappers
punch.
only. Slappers only.
Like a slap. Like if someone's coming to grab you, you can just push them away, and like who's ever like kind of like a
Michaela's
whatever.
American Nugget Gladiators.
I mean, I'm just it's just
Hold
like,
on. Where did the scissor come from? Now I'm
What?
worried. Randomly held up a scissor.
Oh, I'd play with scissors while I don't
Oh,
know.
good.
Anyways.
Oh,
Anyways. So
the
I
plot
just
thickens in the cool household.
so like I don't know.
Well, that made the
Like,
episode title naming easy. Playing with scissors.
Fall Guys is fun. I'm not as into it as a lot of people are, I guess.
I mean, I think that's fair. Honestly, just to dovetail on that, like I don't want to sit down and play Fall Guys for hours like I did Rocket League. I will say
That's the other
this.
thing.
I will say this because what happened with us last week, we were all just sort of shooting the shit after the episode, and you're like, "Yo, we could be playing Fall Guys right now."
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like everyone's computer is off, and we're on the PS4 playing Fall Guys. Except, no disrespect, except for Michaela because she had to download it. But that's fine. She ended up getting some matches in. It's fine.
My whole other thing is like I almost feel like Fall Guys is something that I want to play by myself because if I get eliminated, because my whole thing is like I'm wasting time getting good at the game by watching people by spectating. I'm like, if I lose, I don't like. I love you, but I don't want to watch you. I'm out of here, and I'm going to another match so that I can get better at those types of rounds. And so it's almost like maybe that's what I need to do is just spend a lot of time playing it alone so that I could get to the matches faster to be able to progress more easily. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much my week. Oh, and a little bit of Game Club game, which is, it is what it is.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And Dark Souls 3 PvP.
Cool.
Can't get away from it. Good stuff. Killing and grilling.
Nice. Jason?
Matt, you always go last. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I played a lot this week. But I played Mortal Shell, played Fall Guys. You guys, we already talked about that. Played something that Jason I know is going to talk about. But what I am going to spend my time with this week is talking about Neon Abyss. Jason reviewed this for Obelisk, if I remember correctly.
No, I'm working on it.
That one's next.
You haven't? You played this like months ago. It
It's
seems
next.
like.
I'm working on it. I was talking to Michaela about it yesterday. I'm like,
fire him, Michaela. Obelisk needs to fire him.
Hang on. Moose, let's just sit back. Let's let Michaela properly reprimand her employee.
I put out a review today. Relax.
He's our most productive reviewer, so I don't know. I think he gets carte blanche.
Don't give him a pass.
I was
going to make him
say don't give him a
complacent.
pass because he'll just walk all over y'all. Y'all give him an inch.
You give him an inch. He's from Jersey. You give him an inch.
Yeah.
You give him an inch. He's gonna block a fucking bridge. You know how they do it over there.
I'm more likely to reprimand him if he submits more than 2 reviews a week. Because every time he submits one, I'm like, okay, you're gonna go to bed now? Is it time to sleep? Put the coffee down.
He's like, I don't know what that B word is. He's like, well, I might as well not go to bed because Arya's going to wake me up to play the funny game in like 45 minutes. So what can I review? But Neon Abyss, and I tweeted this, I think yesterday or Saturday. It has quickly reached the pantheon of like roguelite games for me that is shared by Spelunky, Binding of Isaac, Invisible Ink, Enter the Gungeon, and others of that ilk. This game is an absolute joy to play. Mechanically, it is a twin stick shooter almost, but instead of being top down like Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon, it is a side scroller. The platforming is very good. The style of it is very cool. I mean, it starts out with Hades saying, "Hey, I'm trying to get out of this station in life, and you're gonna help me. But you need to go kill some people for me. You need to go deal with these managers." But Hades basically runs a bar and dance club. So like every time you start a run, your character is basically head down at a bar, looks up at the bartender, and the bartender goes, "Hey, you want to upgrade? If you don't have anything to upgrade, you basically move on." But right next door is a dance club, and you can dance for however long you feel like, and I think that's just wonderful. You go, like I'm playing on Switch. You hit R1, and you can just dance. You just let your character dance. It's great.
I think there's a trophy.
There's I know. I looked at I think I'm probably going to try and go for a platinum in this, but there is a trophy for dancing for a half hour.
Oh Jesus!
I do
I think it's
that,
total. I don't think it's in.
yeah. I don't think you have to do it straight. But
Just
like,
leave the controller
Leave it.
taped down and walk away.
I
I'm gonna
think
go do laundry. So.
and so as you're going through, it's very Binding of Isaac, where all of the different active items or passive items you can pick up synergize in a way. Like there's I will reference Binding of Isaac more just because I've played it for years on end at this point and I know the power-ups, but there's a power-up in Neon Abyss that is the equivalent to money equals power in Binding of Isaac, where the more coins you pick up, the stronger you are. And you see that strength manifest by the size of the bullets that come out of your gun. And that sounds like a metaphor, doesn't it? But I do like that this game, for your first run through to go through your first manager, it's not super punishing. I think that like when you start Binding of Isaac and you're just Isaac or Magdalene or I think Cain, and then I'm trying to remember the other starter you get in Binding of Isaac, but I'm having trouble remembering it. You are very, very weak in that game. Whereas here, it doesn't really matter what gun you get as sort of like your item room, or it doesn't matter what active item. You still have a fighting chance against any boss or any enemy. Whereas once you get past the first manager, which I think is Argus, hit Argus's level as well as every level after it, everything takes a full heart of damage rather than half. And that difference, while I think like in Isaac would be super significant, but here it doesn't feel like it, but it's just enough to where the player can get through bosses and get jewels for defeating bosses to upgrade like drops. And that's a cool thing. It uses the angel and devil room idea from Isaac very, very well. I'm not sure how it actually works in Neon Abyss, but through each level you'll see these purple jewels just hanging out.
If you contribute to the jewel, you can walk up to it and donate a crystal, and that's the angel. You'll see the meter go blue to red.
Right, but if you shoot it, it turns red, and then in order to destroy it, you have to take a hit of damage.
Yes.
And but I don't know like if there's a way to change it back. Whereas like in Isaac, if you did certain things, it would just sort of flip the polarity on you.
I usually end up just building the meter. I haven't seen it go back. The devil one is better in a sense, but it's more of a gamble.
Well, the devil
devil-
one is that's where you get your offense, whereas
Well, you
like
could
the,
get-
like the
it's
angel
not-
one,
It's not always offense, but you lose a heart.
right?
The
You lose a
devil one, you have
heart,
to-
but the devil one makes you outwardly stronger, whereas
Yes.
the other one, more often than not, you're getting passives or a
Yes.
gun. You're not getting something that boosts stats, and that's something that roguelikes have done for decades at this point. And Isaac did it really well. And then I like the way that they deal with secret rooms, the way that they deal with challenge rooms, be it a fight or that dumbass piano that I still fucking love. Yeah, so you can if you upgrade to the point where you can get a random piano room, it basically turns into a platforming version of that keyboard scene from the movie Big, where you have to just follow the notes.
But
and
you can't
it's-
land.
You
have
can't.
to land
You
on the nose.
have to land in the right pattern, or you're done. And it takes 15 of your coins in order to do that. But this game is really fun to play. I think my one real gripe is there's. I think and this is a stupid gripe. I'll say that up front. But I feel like if the load times were like 3 seconds shorter, I would never stop playing. And the reason I say that is because we've all been at a loading screen where you're just all of a sudden you're like, I don't know if I have time for another one.
I should probably do something productive.
I should probably do some adult shit, or like if I'm playing at work, I should probably go do an X-ray. You know.
Who'd you play as? Or who have you played as?
I unlocked Matt.
Okay.
And then I predominantly play as Anna.
Oh, okay.
I like her gun.
Okay.
Even though for some reason I feel like all the starting guns are variations on the same thing. I'm trying to get used to Matt because I do like the role that he has. Because he has a dodge roll.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I were to level one other gripe at this, the starting roster is very limited, and it takes a while to unlock other characters. Like it takes a while to unlock Matt.
If you're an early adopter, you got 2 extra characters.
Which I was not, but
they gave the DLC free if you bought it within the first week. So you get Amir and Saya. So Amir's interesting. You lose a heart every time you finish a level.
Okay.
So
wait, you lose a heart?
You lose an entire heart
every time you finish a level.
Yes. So when
you just die.
No. So you don't die. Here's the thing: when you have no hearts, you have the ability to fly, but you can only take 1 hit unless you have shields on.
Right.
So the way it works, and I'm sure you figured out, once you beat, for those who don't know, when you beat the first manager, the next level is 6 stages. And you beat
7,
that,
actually.
then it's 7, then it's 8,
7.
Then it keeps adding a stage to the run. He only starts.
How many have you beaten now?
4. I've beaten 4 of 6.
Okay. I'm wondering if it doesn't go up twice, 2 levels every time. Because I know I'm at 7.
I'm on,
and I've only beaten
5th,
1.
and I feel I have 8 stages.
Okay.
So maybe it doesn't go up every time. But playing as him now, if I don't earn any hearts, I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also, you mentioned the synergies. There's power-ups where the less hearts you have, the more damage you do.
Yep.
But you're not guaranteed to find it, so it's like a.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I with the money is power thing. Like I just stopped going to shops.
Yeah.
And then I'll make sure that even after I'm done with the boss, I will find every coin in that level.
Yeah, I've had it and had like 250 coins.
Oh yeah.
But I've also screwed myself where I get the power up that bullets explode, but they actually damage you. So I'm
That's
doing
my.
like
That's my. I was actually going to ask you if you have a favorite power up, and the popcorn, is
popcorn.
actually the popcorn is actually mine.
It's
Because,
cool. It destroys everything, but if you don't have the range on your weapon, you're going to blow yourself up.
Oh yeah, don't use that stupid trumpet. With a,
I like
Ding 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 popcorn.
popcorn's a power up in Neon Abyss Moose.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
I like the
That's what I have to
laser,
say every time I
the
get it.
laser beam.
Which one?
It's the one that kind of locks on and it just moves with the targets.
Okay.
It reminds me of like shoot 'em ups where it like basically locks and just moves. Even if you're moving, it kind of moves with the target till it dies.
So I think earlier today I found the dumbest power up, but it was still kind of awesome. And I forget what it's called. I think it's called Light Dance or Light Show or something. Well, anyway, you hold the fire, and it basically you hold the fire button, and two lasers come out. And it's like Darth Maul's lightsaber, except it just spins around you. And I'm just like, this is stupid. Of course I'm going to use this. And I eventually got to Argus for the second time, and then died. This is after
It's
I
stupid
beat him.
later when you get it to be max power because you'll
Oh, I'll
start
bet.
taking out explosive barrels right on top of you because it hits everything, and all of a sudden you just blow up. You're like,
Yep.
Hold on.
Yep. Imagine that with the perk that takes out environmental damage, where you don't take any of it.
Amir actually can preview items. You can see what they are.
Oh, that's amazing.
So there's actually a power up in game you can get, but Amir gets it by default. So playing with him, you can kind of plan your run to stay away from the more negative of the power ups in a sense.
Okay.
Kind of build around it. The only thing he can't see is shop items. You have to buy them before you can see what they are.
Okay. Yeah, that's been the one thing I sort of hesitate with is buying weapons from the shop. So you mentioned DLC was given to early adopters. Is it purchasable? Like, are extra characters purchasable?
Yeah, it's only 2 characters. I think it's only like, I want to say it's like $5.
Okay.
The
That's
other
worth
character
it.
the other character has a melee and a gun. So she can melee a different melee. She has a katana.
Like it's not just the knife that everyone uses.
It's a katana with a dash attack.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, this game is fun. It's
like I did not expect when I saw when you originally talked about it, I'm like, okay, this is speaking my language, so I have to try this. I honestly expected it to be more like Streets of Rogue from last year, where it was a fun thing, but ultimately, like, there was a weird ceiling in that game that was not fun to try and surmount.
It's $2.
The DLC. Okay.
Yeah, with Saya and Amir.
Yeah,
it's only $2, which is not bad. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
Enjoying the game.
Which yeah, I would definitely give this dev money.
It's the binding of Metal Slug.
Yeah,
the best way to describe it.
No, yes. And my favorite thing about this versus like there are aspects of Isaac where you get familiars and you can level up certain familiars in Binding of Isaac, whereas here, if you pick up eggs and they eventually hatch, but all of those characters level up with you, which I think is awesome.
Did you get the zombie sister?
Yeah, zombie sister. Oh, zombie sister's my girl. I would make her my Twitter picture if I could. Actually, I probably could. I just haven't looked.
So the zombie sister, when she takes damage, she splits.
Yep.
But those that split can split too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if they don't die, you can literally. I had a chain of like 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the stupid power up where if your sprite hits a wall, it will blow up the wall and the sprite. So I was causing explosions back and forth.
Or the one where you can use eggs as grenades. The characters in this, the familiars are really cool. I do like the mummy and how it turns into basically a version of Tutankhamun. And then there's the Blue Doctor, which is definitely not Dr. Manhattan. And then I do like the clown that turns, I think it turns into, like, I think it's called Jack.
Yeah.
But that thing starts throwing bombs everywhere.
Did you get the coin bomb? The coins explode after 3 seconds.
No, I did not get that.
So
I'm
coins
glad.
will fall normally, but if you don't pick them up, they blow up.
Oh, that would piss off that one familiar, the grabber, who grabs all the coins, but eventually just dies and explodes in 100 coin, or in, what is it?
It's the Binding of Metal Slug with the story of American gods, is what I realized.
Like Neil Gaiman, American Gods.
It's I
Stop
mean-
talking about it and write that review, Jason. Come on.
Get it, Moose. Get it. All right,
Do
that's,
this.
so I feel like between Jason and I just going back and forth on this game, we could probably keep going for a long time. But anyway, Neon Abyss, very good. Anybody who happens to hear this should play it. It's probably among the easier of roguelites that I've played, but it certainly belongs, in my opinion, in that category with like Spelunky, Binding of Isaac, Invisible Ink.
There's also a lesser known fact it does have a demo.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
you can try it. You know?
Try it on that Switch. It's perfect.
And if you get any cool runs, send us the seeds. I'd love
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
That's kind of a
Yes.
cool feature that you could share
Tweet us.
Mm-hmm.
your run.
Yeah. Okay, Jason, I think that leaves you. I'm so used to going last. I'm not used to having someone go before me or after me. So you and I did a thing.
We did.
We did a couple of things.
Did a couple
actually.
things.
Yeah.
We played our favorite co-op game from last year.
Fucking
Remnant.
right, we did Remnant from the Ashes.
Released the final DLC, Subject 2923. It's not a long DLC. I mean,
No, it is not.
We're brokenly OP because we've played so much. But
Right.
it's about 6 to 8 hours if you're not as, like, I would say Moose's character at his level would be closer to 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about right.
That's probably a safe assessment.
I feel this campaign was more fleshed out than the base campaign. The base campaign had a lot more reading if you wanted to learn about the lore.
Mm-hmm.
This had more cutscenes.
Yes.
But both had Dave Fennoy as a voice,
Yeah.
which still weird. Lee
Yeah.
from Walking Dead is a voice. And
and then the characters in the DLC's name is Clementine. It was real weird.
she goes, "I'm Clementine," and me and we're both like, "Wait,
What? No, last night we were streaming this, and a buddy of mine from the Super Deluxe Gamecast community, Julian, was in my stream chatting with us, which was awesome to see and awesome to have because it doesn't happen for me very often. But when we told him like why we were reacting the way we were, he's like, "Oh, that's crazy." So it is great.
Weird hearing Lee talk shit because you're used to him in Telltale's Walking Dead, but then like he's like, "Come on, you bastard!" It's like it never gets old though.
No, it never does. It never does.
But this added new enemies, new weapons, new traits. I don't know if you have the trait trophy, Moose, yet, but they added 10 more traits. You needed 30.
So it's way easier.
So it's way easier.
I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to go back and look at trophies and be like, let's make the push for the platinum here. So
I'll help you with everything except if you need that fucking coin.
Yeah, fuck that coin.
Fuck that coin.
Fuck that
It was
coin.
actually 10 hours of gameplay.
hey, I have no problem with that grinding.
No, but what's cool
I mean,
is
you basically have to run through Earth time after time after time after time. It's you just get sick of doing it. It's not bad.
Right.
what's cool about this DLC, because Michaela was actually asking before the show, you have to. So they had a feature where you re-roll your campaign, and it basically sets the game level to your level. So, because like I said, we're stupidly OP. It wouldn't be fun to just blow through this. Like we actually, the first run we had a boss. We must have died like 8 times, and it was getting late. It was like 1:30. I'm like, no, we can't just end this on a death.
Well,
It's one of those. It's one of those. No, we're beating this boss, and then it's time for bed.
And then it's
we
bedtime.
just kept dying, and like
And
we
then
just
there was one.
switched up.
Not to interrupt, but there was one more where I'm like, "What the fuck? What is wrong with?" And Jason goes, "Okay, look, I got this. I'm gonna get the hunter's mark. You're gonna do your stupid hunter pistol thing, and then you're gonna release the swarm, and then I'm going to particle accelerate this bitch." And then we did exactly that, and
It's one of those things.
the boss
His life just went,
evaporated.
"Ooh."
So we posted that video on Twitter because it was awesome.
It looked like a good time.
This game's so much fun co-op. I wish there was a 4th slot so all 4 of us could play, but unfortunately there's not.
And I still gotta say, from last year when this was announced, I saw this. I'm like, oh, it's a co-op shooter. Fuck, no, I'm not playing.
What?
But then he listened to the podcast that I was on, and I'm like, dude, y'all got to play Remnant.
Yeah,
And then,
you started. Then Moose tried it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll give it a try.
So one of the biggest things about the game that I don't think a lot of people talk about is the shooting and melee aspect of it. So like if you're holding down L2, you're shooting, but as soon as you let go of L2, you're meleeing. So like you can work that into like your combos or your strategy to where, you know, you're going from one to the other real quick instead of being like, what is it, R3 or is it circle?
Yeah,
that
it's a nice.
like what melees? It's just it's real nice the way they were like, listen, fuckheads, if you're not holding down L2, you're meleeing. If you hold down L2, you're shooting. Let's go. They're like, let's go.
Speaking of all that, Moose, you like Dark Souls, right? You like Bloodborne, right?
You know what? I'm gonna fucking punch you.
No.
This is I'm leading to something. I'm leading to something.
Yes, you know
there
I
are
do.
there are 2 melee weapons in this DLC that are Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
Party.
I don't remember what the Bloodborne one is, but the Dark Souls one is basically the Moonlight Greatsword, and it's awesome.
So for the listeners, that I haven't switched. There's a what is it? The Great Tree or whatever. What is the tree boss?
The Ent.
The
Ent. So I like if you kill him a certain way, you can go and use that piece of that boss, and you can make a two-handed hammer. I have not changed from that hammer ever. That is my melee weapon.
You don't really need to.
That's the only thing I ever use, and so it'd be nice to see some other melee weapons. I said, I'm ready to go back to Remnant.
So this weapon is called the Chain Blade, and it says a charge strike will extend the weapon.
Yeah.
So I immediately thought I'm like, it's a trick
He,
weapon.
He said,
So-
I'm pretty sure you could go back to my VOD and he would be like, hey Matt, this is a trick weapon. and then I get back to Ward 13. He's like, stop, don't move. Stay right there. Watch this.
So
and I'm like,
if you're
yes.
running, it's like a spear, and like it does extend. You hold down your charge attack. We're going like all Simon Belmont, Castlevania. This thing comes out like a whip. Then it's like,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
And then,
Okay.
I mean,
this
even Julian in our chat, he's like, whoa, some of these look crazy.
All right, I'm in. I'm down. I got a platinum DLCs. Let's go.
and
Michaela, what's your Venmo? Let me know.
and I put enough time in this game. I will die on this hill if I have to. This is not a Souls-like. I've seen so many like previews. it has souls. A lot of games have souls.
Mechanics.
Mechanics.
Or,
It's not. It's really not, because first you hear Souls like, you immediately think it's difficult. Granted, you put this game on nightmare mode, which we did. It's like impossible.
Yeah, that was well. We ended up beating that one boss we were having problems with. It took us a long time, but we did.
But it's not really.
Never again, but we did.
There's a few mechanics, but it's not the whole. First off, it's a shooter, so you don't have to worry about dodging. You can be overly aggressive in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Most Souls games kind of punishes you if you're a little too aggressive. But
can we invent a term then? Souls light instead of Souls like.
Yes.
Souls light. That's what I would like to label Neo as too, because it's not.
See, Michaela, this is why I'm so glad you're here.
Souls light.
Here to make up words.
Of the four of us, you are clearly the smartest.
Souls light.
And I want to thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
No, we had such a blast with this DLC, and we're gonna go back for survival mode.
Oh yeah, we have to go back first. We have to go back first. I mean, kind of. It makes sense this year of all years, because, at least in terms of, like, I know Moose and I, we're kind of doing a lot of older stuff, and trying to avoid purchasing games, which the indie world thing kind of ruined for me.
Well, I will also say, like, coronavirus is ruined for us, because it's like everything's getting pushed. Or I mean, I'll be honest. Other than Mortal Shell, there isn't really anything I'm excited for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Moose, the chain blade you crafted after beating a boss that is basically Smog and Ornstein.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it just, and then there was
that boss is the fucking best intro too.
Oh, the Wolverine one?
I don't want to hear it. All right, let's move on.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay. So
nothing to see here.
Right. All right.
It's so good though. It's so good.
Well, I'll experience it, and then I will I will agree with you. It's so good.
All right, and I'm pretty sure you could probably get Jason and I in synchronicity saying "Remnant from the Ashes" very goddamn good. Play it. It's fun. Anything else, Jason?
My review for the Alto collection, it's a Endless Runner, came out. It was a mobile game. It's a downhill snowboarder. And it's an Endless Runner. It's a nice, relaxing. It comes with 2 games for the price of one.
You're playing that on PS4, right? So it's mobile initially, and then
it was mobile first. It's Noodle Cake.
Yeah. I think they did Death Road to Canada.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's a good game.
So they did that, and then I started a game on early access on Steam called RoboQuest. Think Borderlands 1 Cell Shade, but a roguelike shooter. You're a robot. Every level you complete, there's new weapons. And we're talking like Borderlands weapon, like dual-wielding crossbows that explode.
No. Could be.
Trust me.
Could be.
So I blacked out. Can you say that again? I'm actually being honest. You said you said words, and then it went into my head, and my brain was like a calculator when you divide by 0. It just said E.
It looks like cell shaded Borderlands 1, a little more cartoony, but it's a roguelite shooter, but from first person.
Okay.
And there's like Borderlands / Ratchet and Clank weapons, like dual wielding crossbows.
Would you say? Wait, what? Dual wielding. Wait a minute. That's a Dark Souls thing. You only dual wield crossbows in Dark Souls.
Dual wielding like handheld crossbows, or like
awesome
dual wielding sort of shotguns that
explode. So is this better or worse than Strafe?
I like it better so far.
Okay.
Strafe was kind of nauseating.
Yeah.
Probably would. It was you start going in Strafe, and it's like, what the fuck is going on the screen?
Strafe was one of those games that it spoke my language in such a way that until I started playing, I'm like, I started playing and I'm just like, no.
Have you ever heard of Strafe, Michaela?
Strafe is fantastic. No, it's a good game. Right.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to say it's a bad game.
Yeah, I don't think I played enough.
I'm gonna say I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
not
fair.
for me.
Yeah.
It's a bit much.
Moose, say it with your whole chest, okay? Come on.
Trash.
Like if you're gonna do it all the way. That's all I ask. That's all I ask any of y'all. If you're gonna call any of it, if we are going to call each other out, do it all the way. Like for instance, I'm gonna call Michaela out for being so fucking silent. Quit being so polite. No, I'm kidding.
I can be ruder if you want.
I mean, fine.
Yes, please.
Specifically to you, but no.
Fair. I earned.
Game recognizes game.
Yes.
Now that's about it for the week. I
Okay.
think.
So some shit happened this past week. Nintendo did an indie world thing, and it kind of said, "Hey Matt, your wallet's going to evaporate before the end of the year," because they released 7 games that day.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Moose, I think you might be muted because I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything. So I just don't know if you didn't. I don't know if you muted yourself or not.
No, I did not.
Okay, you're just being polite. Stupid. So I don't have my notes from that here, but I do know that they are releasing Hades onto Switch.
And it carries over if you play it on.
It is going to carry over, and it is going to be day and date with Steam 1.0. Now they haven't said any other consoles, and frankly that doesn't matter. I just know that when it's 1.0, I will be able to fucking play it, and I'm so excited.
Well,
Wait, what is about the carryover? The saves?
yeah,
you could-
so
you
if
could- you
any
could-
progress you have, I think on Epic or Steam should carry over. But I think I'd start a new game personally.
Of
Because
course.
it's been a minute. This game has been in early access for almost 2 years. It went into early access on the day they revealed it at the Game Awards in December of 2018. So it's been in early access for a long time.
Which is fine because
Yep.
early access doesn't have to be a negative thing because it's
No.
nice because you get your community base who's really awesome, like helping you define what you want your game to be. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, because I believe besides Bastion was on Xbox 360, Transistor was PlayStation, Pyre was PlayStation, and so like I was like, and then Bastion came out on PlayStation, but it was like I was kind of like, oh, it'd be cool to see it on PlayStation, but then it was like Switch, and I'm like, doesn't really bother me because I own a Switch, so I got one of the two better consoles, so.
Well, look, I'm pretty sure you're like me though.
Man.
You're exactly like me though, Moose. Because let's be real. Supergiant could say they're going to put a game out anywhere else.
They could put out the game type that I fucking hate, and I'll still buy it and play it.
Exactly.
Like, I love them.
And not only that, you'll buy it where you can. I can tell you right now.
I'll fucking triple buy it. I've got so many copies of Bastion.
Same.
I'm gonna just call you out. I'm gonna say bullshit because if Supergiant released a version of The Witcher, you ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. And don't
Yeah,
say
but they
you
would never
are.
do that.
I'm just saying. He said if they released anything.
But see,
No,
now
I
let's
would play it
hang on.
Because
hang on.
no, wait. Shut your fucking mouths.
Okay.
The reason I won't play The Witcher 3 is because their controls and the combat is fucking trash. Bloodborne has ruined me, okay? But I feel like Supergiant Games would be able to say, hey, you know what? These controls are fucking trash, and we're going to redo it in our game that we're putting out. So,
Well, see,
fuck
but
you,
also-
Jason, and you're wrong.
Also, what Supergiant would do is they'd be like, okay, we're going to make The Witcher, but it's going to be strategy focused because that's what Supergiant does. They just
Or it could be
all,
like an
all they do are
action adventure like
strategy.
Bastion.
games.
It could be like Bastion.
And they'll have a narrator that hates you the whole time too. So
Right, exactly. Or it could be what was it? His bard. That's like throw
Yeah.
a coin to your Witcher, and he just
Yeah.
sings the narrative in the background. That would be awesome.
There's this NPC that's famous in that game for being like super evil, but it like takes a long time to play out. I don't remember his name. I'd like
The
him
Bloody
to be
Baron?
it.
Isn't that the Bloody Baron?
I don't know. He's the one like you meet him in a tavern at the beginning of the game, like early game, and then he turns out evil later, and he's like super like messed up. I don't remember his name. He's in a bunch of like top 10 list type videos. But I would like to see that. He would be a cool narrator. But basically, yeah, Supergiant.
Supergiant, yes.
Okay, so technical difficulties happened, and apparently on this podcast we just showed too much love to one studio, and the gods of Zoom were not happy with us being so adoring of Supergiant games, but we're all back. So avoiding Supergiant games and their awesomeness, which is unparalleled by anybody in the indie space.
Keep it quiet.
Fuck you. Attack and dethrone God. Fuck you, God. So Indie World happened. A bunch of games came out that day. And I decided to buy a bunch of them. Unfortunately, I got stuck playing Neon Abyss, so I didn't get to try a Short Hike or any of the others that were released.
Poor Matt. He got stuck playing.
Yeah. I got stuck playing a fucking fun game. Jesus Christ, what a problem. Now I know that I'm going to assume that none of us took notes. Michaela has proven me wrong in the past. I'll give her the opportunity to prove me wrong today. But
Not
does any? Okay, great. Slacker, welcome to the team.
I have multiple laptops.
What?
This is my work laptop. my day job, not my video game job.
I mean, I'm not here to out you to your employers. You're doing that on the internet. That's not my problem at this point.
Yeah, they don't know my life. It's fine.
Good. So did anybody have any standouts from the Nintendo Indie World? I had a bunch. So
yeah. Hades. Yes.
Of course.
Hades.
Eden Gate, which I believe Jason's.
Evergate. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Evergate. Sorry.
Evergate looks fucking cool.
Looks cool.
I picked it up. I played about 10 minutes of it.
Is
It's
it
fun.
Raji?
Raji looks
Yes.
That one's gorgeous.
dope as fuck too.
And then the one you were talking about, Matt, what? On a
Short hike?
Short hike, yeah.
Short
that
hike.
looks entertaining. So a lot of games like dropped, but most importantly, like Hades by Supergiant. So whenever that comes, I'll be saving up my Nintendo coin for that, and probably pick up the other ones on a sale, even though some of them are discounted.
Yeah. Short hike was
during-
like $7, I think.
Yeah, it was
Some of them
discounted
are only
from like
discounted like $2 though. Like Raji, I think
Yeah.
it's like from $24 to $21.99 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not insane discounts, but like it's like, hey, we're dropping a new game. Here's also like $2 back or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Same thing with like
So-
Spiritfarer, which is another one I picked up, but I haven't had a chance to play. But hopefully between now and next week's show, maybe I'll get my head out of my Neon Abyss. See what I did there.
So they had some good stuff. It's still interesting that we are in August, the last week of August, and Nintendo hasn't said, hey, this is what's coming out for holiday season.
I looked at my article. Remember last time I mentioned it'd been almost a year since a Nintendo Direct, like a full one, not a specific game, like a Smash Direct or a Pokemon Direct or a Mini Direct or an Indie Direct.
Mhm.
September 4th. In 2 weeks, it will be 1 year since a full Nintendo Direct. And that September 4th Direct was when they revealed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It's when they released Banjo-Kazooie and Smash. I forget what else they showed. Like Overwatch went to the Switch. That's how long ago this was.
Mhm.
I think
Isn't that where they announced Overwatch 2 as well?
Did they announce
No.
that during a direct? No.
Okay.
No, that was announced during.
Oh, was that a BlizzCon that they announced that?
Yes.
Because
That
like
makes more
that was
sense.
announced.
on Gamescom, that Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct, they were all like on top of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the way your mother likes it, Trebek. So I feel like I'm waiting for Nintendo. My main thing is like, all right, listen, I love Metroid, but I don't want to fucking hear about Metroid Prime 4 until that bitch is like excuse my language, but until that game is like 6 months from release. Like Fallout, I'm talking Fallout 4.
I don't think
They
you will.
announced Fallout 4 and then it was released that fall. That's what I want with Metroid Prime 4. So what I'm most concerned about is Bayonetta 3.
That should have
What
been
is
out this
happening
year.
with that? Yes, I agree with Michaela. Michaela, we're eye to eye on that. Like, where is Bayonetta 3? Like, what is happening with that? Now, here's also my stand on that. I believe a great game late is better than a shit game now. So if they need to polish it, fucking polish it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, they're basically whatever they were doing with Metroid Prime 4 went out the window, and they changed developers, and now it's like starting a whole new development cycle. So it's like, take your 4 years. Take what you need to do to make that game fucking phenomenal. But in the meantime, give me some trilogy remastered on Switch. You know what I mean? Give it to me this fall. Give it to me for like $60.
With Bayo 3, I just want an update. I want an update, even if it's
Or
not like
that.
a trailer, if it's just like a statement from Nintendo or Platinum or something. Because
Yeah.
Platinum is solid. They've been
Yes.
putting out stuff constant. Like, has anything released since Astral Chain, which was a year ago now? Almost. It'll be next week. It'll be a year ago.
No, that was the last game that they released, and I will
So-
I mean,
say, I've
unless
been
you
playing it,
want to
it's
talk
phenomenal.
about what the near section of the Final Fantasy 14, unless you really want to go
That
that
wouldn't
deep.
have been Platinum. I don't
No,
think
that-
Platinum did that. Because Platinum did Nier Automata with Square Enix,
Mhm.
but they did not do Nier Replicant. Like, Nier is not their IP.
No, I know. But I was just thinking, like, Yoko Taro and Platinum Games.
Yoko Taro, is with Square, though.
No, I know that.
Yeah. We have two
Uh-oh.
Jasons.
We have two
We got
Jasons.
two Jasons.
No, we're good.
Yeah, there we are.
We have one Jason.
Well, who minds two? Two
I mean-
Jasons are okay.
I think the other one looked better, personally.
Now Michaela knows how I write all those reviews. There's two of me.
And at least one is always drinking coffee.
Yeah,
No, both are drinking coffee. Well, let's not joke around.
let's not.
One of them laces it with peanut butter whiskey, but we'll forgive him. That's the one that has to raise the children.
I was just gonna say that's the one that has to deal with kids.
But
Hey. We got the gremlin. We got the furballs wet. Now they're gremlins permanently. It's over. We fed them after 8 p.m.
well, it's good. But did you feed them before midnight or after? Because it's after midnight that matters.
Both.
Get your Jesus Christ! What have you done, man? Anyway,
Parents that don't care.
yeah, no, I see. I agree, but also I think this goes back to what we discussed last week with the Halo delay. Like, COVID fucked everything up.
Yeah.
But
And-
Bayonetta has been in development for so long. You think
Right.
it had to be close.
But also, like, nothing comes together till the very end. Maybe they hadn't reached the very end yet. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not a game developer. I know I can't even build a fucking PC. All right. So I'm going to assume that by the end of game development, when things are coming together, that is probably where they also put everything together and say, okay, what bugs do we have? And then that has
Ladies
to
and
be-
gentlemen, he can't even build a PS4.
Yeah, that's why I hired Sony to build them for me. Anyway, it sucks that we haven't had a major Nintendo Direct, but also I don't think we've needed one.
I'm agree with that because I think they're riding the Animal Crossing. They
Yeah.
just had the indie.
Yeah,
There's a tremendous amount of backlog. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't played Mario Odyssey. Like, I need to play that to completion. I really would like my.
It's
Legend
not
of
even
Zelda.
just Animal Crossing is huge, obviously, but
Mhm.
I don't even care for Animal Crossing, and I've been completely happy with my Switch this year with indies coming out.
Yeah,
I've been
right.
more than happy.
right,
Which
right.
yeah,
This year, this part of the year has been giving us a good chance to like catch up on games. Like earlier this summer, I was like, I'm gonna start playing Astral Chain again, which I need to get back to, but it's giving me a chance to say, yes, I want the new Mario. What is it, Origami King or whatever? Story of the Origami King, Paper Mario. I want that game, but I'm like, I don't need it. So I will play all the old games that I have, pick up an indie here or there, and call it a day. You know?
Yeah. See,
So-
for me though, like the two major games for Nintendo, like Nintendo, not other people publishing on the Switch, have been Animal Crossing and Paper Mario. And those don't have any appeal for me. So I feel like I don't
Sure.
have anything new on my Switch that could only be on my Switch. I'm buying a lot of indies on my Switch because they're usually good games to play in handheld mode. I let my roommate use my PS4, so I like to have games on my Switch, so I'm not hogging the PS4 even though it's mine, so I can't really hog it, but whatever, you know what I mean?
you're being a good
being a
roommate.
fucking
Like,
phenomenal.
you're
roommate,
being a good human. We respect that.
I try.
My wife asked me to play the PS4. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house.
See, I always feel bad because it's like my PS4 is in our living room, so I'm gonna let.
Yeah, right.
Although when the PS5 comes, that PS4 is coming in here, and the PS5 will go over there.
Okay.
But I don't want to. Actually, finish your statement, Michaela.
Yeah,
No,
basically,
no,
it is
no.
good time for backlog. Like, as you guys may remember, I spent basically the entire month of February getting surprisingly addicted to Xenoblade 2.
Yep, I
I do
remember.
remember that.
Because I
And,
actually,
and somewhere in my head, I'm still going, why? No.
Ooh, shots fired.
but yeah, I feel
Shots
like I'm
fired,
not
people.
excited for my Switch because Nintendo is not only silent, but I am uncertain of like even when I have something to look forward to from them as a company. You know what I mean? Their roadmap is invisible at this point. Like we don't even know what's around the corner. Like I don't have any anticipated games for the Switch, like the way I have anticipated games for PS4 and PS5. Like I don't have.
Okay, but see, also, I just as someone who loves to be the fucking annoying asshole here.
what?
As you've noticed, in your
No.
what concrete PS4, PS5 roadmap do we have other than it's coming out this year?
Yeah, but that's more than Nintendo. And trust me, I'm
She
getting
has a
annoyed with
point.
Sony.
Sure.
She has a point.
Sure.
And I agree with her. I'm getting annoyed with Sony because
It's 2 months. 2
what
months
is
too
the
much.
fucking
But yeah, and
launch
I'll
title?
say like, I guess today there were rumors of a leak of new Nintendo Switch hardware, but
Yeah,
it's not.
every time,
But the thing,
though.
but whether it's rumors or any concrete leak, it's just a more powerful. It's not like a. So it's basically like a PS4
Power.
Pro. You don't necessarily need it. So it's
No.
not
But,
like a.
but they're saying like
like a
they don't even know
PS5
if it
is-
is a Pro because
Right.
it could just be a better resolution screen
Right.
or,
It
or
could
a
be
more
it could be
powerful
like
screen.
when the Vita updated the screen and the whole it made it
Yeah.
lighter and like
My
it
And
could
like
be like
everybody
bigger,
fucking had a meltdown.
Dude, that second Vita was fucking worse. I don't care what anyone says.
oh, I have the first one still.
But
Good man.
there's been rumors of a Nintendo Switch Pro for what, like 2 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In all honesty, it doesn't fucking matter.
True.
There's plenty of games to play
True.
on the Nintendo Switch, and if you want to upgrade, trade yours in, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I agree with Michaela. I think the roadmap Nintendo is put forth is a lot worse than Sony's, even Microsoft's.
But
just
see,
because
by a
it's
lot
like-
worse, it's just one thing, though. It's just like Sony has estimates.
But right,
No,
but I think the
Sony-
prospect.
we
but
can
I,
tell,
here's the
though.
thing.
It's
Here's the-
I think the
November.
prospect of a new system is
No,
more
no.
exciting than.
No. like Sony has a new system coming out.
Sure.
And you know that shit is not launching without launch titles. So even though we don't know what they are, we know there's going to be launch titles. And if you want to be a successful launch console,
Sure.
going to have 3 to 5 games that are coming out launch day
Yes.
in the launch window for
You're
that
right.
console. So you could sit there and you could say Sony's is not any better than Nintendo, but Nintendo has come out and said fucking nothing.
Fair.
Nothing
And I think the
about
problem with
any
that
games
is-
coming out.
But
It's
see,
been
you're
so good for a couple years. I think Nintendo set a high bar because we were getting regular directs like once a quarter
Mhm.
or something like
Mhm.
that.
But this is but like also we do have to appreciate that this is the year where all of that can kind of go out the window. I mean, and I'm not like trying to be dismissive to anybody's situation here, but let's be fair. The people who are the most affected by COVID-19, the last thing they need to be buying is fucking video games.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
So like I'm one of the people that have been sitting on the sideline during this entire thing because I can work from home,
Mhm.
still have my job, nothing is affected.
Yeah.
Like, everything's going fine. So if
Mhm.
I want to buy a Sony console in the fall, not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Okay? So I understand that. And I understand the point that you're bringing up where it's like a lot of people. This leads into the point where it's like, just fucking push it the next year.
I agree.
Just push
Totally.
console launches to
I
next
agree.
Scissor.
year.
Totally.
There's the scissor.
I
I will
mean,
give you got to give Nintendo credit. I'd rather nothing than that PS5 commercial, which was just a
Which
fucking
is just like,
tease.
what?
Or all these
Like,
developers. Have you guys
Like-
seen all these developer interviews about like how they're making games for the
They're so
DualSense?
excited for
Like,
the
did you-
DualSense.
Well, no. Did you see how Deathloop is using the DualSense? Did you see that? Because I know
Yeah,
you
the
guys
trigger's locked.
So if your
hurts.
gun jams, the trigger locks. You can't pull on it.
Which
Like
is
you'll-
kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Okay,
cool.
until someone breaks it.
Yeah.
Somebody- yeah.
Someone
But,
be
like,
okay.
so
It
there's-
doesn't work anymore. I'm throwing it through the window.
we're being teased a lot, and I don't like. It's just getting frustrating at this
Don't
point. And
like
I know
being
it's not the
teased.
most important thing this year. Trust me, I know there's
Yeah.
been a lot more important issues.
Listen,
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are in the toy department complaining. Like, essentially.
Let's
at the
play
same time-
Borderlands 3 and Remnant From the Ashes, and we won't have to think about anything new until next year.
Or specifically the
Hey,
latter.
Matt, have you noticed that this whole episode Moose hasn't called it the last remnant?
Yeah,
He's
about
done
time.
every other episode.
Yeah, about time.
because it's behind you.
I
It's
want
literally
to. I want to talk about the most important thing to come out of the Nintendo indie world, and that is the fact that they have added local co-op to Untitled Goose Game.
listen, I mean,
This
I
now,
think that's good for you and your wife.
no, that is good for Jason and his daughter.
Yes.
She asks
And-
me every.
His wife-
She's asked me
his
every
wife
day.
voted it in.
She has asked me every day she's come home from camp. Can we play the Goose Game yet?
Jason,
like it's not ready.
can I ask you a question? I'm gonna send you something via Facebook, and I want you to share it. I want you to share your screen because this came out shortly after the the indie world did. So I want you to share this so it goes into our YouTube, as well as so the Chucklehead Moose and the wonderful Michaela can see it. But I saw this on the internet no less than an hour after that indie world happened. Just let us know when you're going to share. Okay, look at this. Look at this.
Oh my god.
The caption
before.
the caption was, "What happened here?"
Yeah, what did these goose do? What did
It
they
doesn't
do?
matter. It's the fact that the geese got caught. It's so fucking golden.
I hate geese, man. I hate geese.
Oh.
I have a personal vendetta against geese.
Dude, like
You
when
ever been hit by a goose?
yes, I have. It
Me
sucks.
too.
But to see it now, okay. You want to know a story about me and a goose? I got a story about me and a goose.
Okay, I'll go after.
So So from about 2005 to about 2009, before I went to extra school, I played soccer at a local rec league here. That it was at Pennypack Park. It's right next to a river, and there are always geese around. I went to go get a soccer ball and got kicked over the fence. So I climbed over, soccer gear and all, and a goose basically tried to attack me, started pecking at my knees and everything. So I'm running back, and I slip, and I roll my ankle, and I'm out of the game. That goose fucking injured me.
I can do you one better.
and
No, I think you just injured yourself running from the goose.
well, I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I didn't, it had been a long time since I was on the farm and killing chickens by stepping on their neck. But
From what I hear, goose have like teeth. And they're fucking nasty.
They're ridges.
Like,
they're fucking assholes. But
yes,
that's what.
yeah,
but see,
I'm not
this all plays into the brilliance of Untitled Goose Game and the fact there is now 2 of them, and I could play that co-op with my wife, who has basically spent the past year calling me Goose because all I do is live to annoy her, which is fair. I try real hard. I take it seriously.
I don't think you have to try. I think there's like 0 trying.
All right, I gotta explain.
Reba. Okay.
So,
I'm gonna explain
Michaela.
my vendetta against geese started when I was about 14 years old, and it is also a sports story. I do
love. Before you finish the story, I just want to say I love how your New England accent really pops up at certain times.
Now I hear it though.
Now, can I ask you? Can I just ask? Do you try and hide it?
Sometimes when I have like a proper speaking voice, and I think the more comfortable I get with
This
you,
is my radio voice.
come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like when I got my first job, I was a cashier at a Panera. My voice went up like 2 octaves, and my accent disappeared. But when I'm in my habitat, it comes out to play.
I just want to say one of my favorite things in the world, and this is from one of my favorite podcasts ever, Idle Thumbs. Whenever Danielle Riendo was on it and she pulled out the Rhode Island accent, it was always my favorite thing. So please be as liberal as you'd like with the Rhode Island accent.
Oh, trust me, it's there. The Rhodey accent.
No, I know. I've heard you say coffee milk. It's fine.
Oh no, my coffee milk.
No, I'm sorry. I believe it's called coffee milk.
Coffee milk.
Coffee milk.
Okay, goose story.
Okay.
I was 14. It was the last year I played rec softball because after my 8th grade year, I was on 4 softball teams simultaneously. So it was the last year I did rec. I was a bit of a nutter.
A bit.
I was catching.
You were playing with sticks and balls on 4 teams. Come on, that's way more than a bit of a nutter.
A bit. So I was catching, and the pitcher, the sun was kind of behind her, so I was having trouble seeing the pitcher. So I was focusing real hard, and she's this little girl, like short, skinny thing, and I'm watching for the pitch to come in.
Here we go.
There is utter silence on the field. Nobody says a warning. Nobody calls for a stop to the game. I'm focusing on the pitch. And the next thing I know, I am flat on the ground. And I have no idea what happened. I got hit by the pitch. I don't know why I fell over. And I am disoriented as hell because I've been struck over the head by something.
It was a goose.
It was a goose.
Fucking goose.
A goose fell out of the sky. A goose fell out of the sky.
I'm so glad you're okay.
And hit me over the head.
Brilliant. I love it.
Flying low, and it saw the backstop. And so it tried to stop, and it just plummeted straight down. And I stood up, and there's a goose on the ground next to me. And we can't get it off the field because it's disoriented. I'm disoriented. So my father comes running out because he's an environmental police officer, so he thinks it's his job. And he starts running around, like, trying to corral the goose off of the field with his fenced in.
Is he like Kevin in the league where he's just, like, screaming at the bear, just going, rah!
So, yes, I have a vendetta against geese because one fell out of the sky. I wasn't even standing. I was in a catcher's squat. I was the lowest target on the field.
They ruined my Ted Williams moment, man.
Yeah. It fell out of the sky and struck me over the head. One of my mom's favorite stories. She was so proud. The one time she came to watch me play.
Wait, what?
No.
I feel like this is a level deeper that we need to go.
My mom only showed up when I got hurt. Like the goose fell out of the sky. I got knocked out one time by this girl who like ran into me like League of Their Own style, and her helmet hit me in the top of the head, and I blacked out for a second.
Oh, that bitch.
There was this pitcher from Dartmouth that
You
was
didn't cry,
targeting
right?
us on
'Cause-
purpose.
Are you crying?
Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah, no, my mom usually showed up when I got hurt.
Yeah, I could just see family pet talks in the Krishona household.
Peck.
Yes, I did
Goose,
that. Yes, I did that. Fucking dad joke McGee over here. I could just see the pep talks in the Krishona household. Mom, this is a big game. You gotta stay home. Dad will call and let you know what's happening, but you have to stay home. If we win this, I go to the finals. I don't need to get injured. So you're just going to sit here and do what you're going to do, but we're going to the game. No, you can't come.
Pretty much.
Honk.
In my head, that bit was going to end better, but I'm not a comedian, so.
But yeah. So geese, they suck.
Unless they're in video game form.
I don't know. I still can't get over it. I'm traumatized.
That the reveal was so cool. Like the farmer like looks at the one goose and then it just pans out and there's another one just walks around the
it's so
corner.
good.
It's like
Well, see,
It's like
and
a Matrix moment when Agent Smith multiplies. The goose multiplies.
as happy as that made me, like I was actually spoiled on that reveal because Lisa Goodman from the Secret Friends Unite community, she messaged me. She's like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "There's two geese." I'm like, "You're fucking kidding me." She's like, "No, there's a multi-goose." And I'm like,
Multi-goose.
and then I the picture she sent me, I sent to my wife. I'm like, "Look at this." She's like, "What am I looking at?" I'm like, "There are two geese." And she's like, "Yeah." And they look like cartoons. And then I sent her the trailer. And then she's like, "Oh." And then ever since then, in fact, for the past like week, and we've been dealing with burnout severely in this house. Every so often, and it's not just me that says this, she says this as well. She will look at me and go, "I'm so excited to play the Goose Game with you." And I'm like, September 23rd. We've marked it on the calendar.
Wait, when is it?
September 23rd.
Oh, that's my brother's birthday. Awesome.
You should get
Happy
him.
birthday. I'm going to assume it's Dustin, but I'm probably wrong.
It's Jason. So it's all good.
So Justin Kluel. No,
Dustin.
I'm mixing them up. So is there anything else anybody would like to discuss about Nintendo's Indie World or any trauma that it brought up?
Indie World, no.
And I'm not trying to make light of your goose problem, Michaela, because I totally respect it. In fact, if I stand with you,
happens, man.
I stand with you in your conflict against the goose because that shit sucks. As someone who had a playoff soccer game ruined for them because he rolled an ankle trying to get away from a herd of them or whatever, a gaggle of them.
I don't think it was a herd. I think it was one goose, and he got scared, and he slipped and fell, and he rolled his ankle.
And that is a funnier story, mind you. That is a way funnier story.
I'm just throwing it out there. I've met Matt. I know Matt. I'm thinking that's what happened. There was no goose-gander.
Remember when you and your wife came here and you're like, "Oh yeah, we'll hang out with Matt in the middle of Philly," and I ran you guys ragged all over the city.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Good time. Okay, so anybody else? You were in the middle of bringing something up from Indie World, I think.
No, I just said Indie World was good. You said anything else, and I was gonna say fuck Epic. So that's it. I'm done.
So, the billionaire dick waving prick fight is still happening, as far as we know. And while we were not recording, I think you made some salient points. Moose, do you want to reiterate it all or no?
Feel like, listen, I understand you want to try and fight for a fairer piece of the pie, but when it's not your platform, and it's a platform owned by somebody else, fucking get out and make your own platform. Oh, but wait, you can't fucking make your own platform because the Epic Game Store doesn't even fucking touch what Steam does.
True.
Like, I mean, you give away free games, but that only goes so far.
True.
Like, start improving your own shit before you trying to point out other people's shit. I mean,
True.
listen, it just goes back to Apple owns the iPhone platform and the iOS platform, and if you're being a dick and they kick you off it, that's their right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's a monopoly. And actually, it's not a monopoly because a lot more people own Android phones than they do iOS phones. So
True.
if you want to sit there and you want to be a bitch about it, that's your own fault for Apple saying, no, get the fuck off my platform, because you guess what? They make enough money to be able to say that, which is very much like you walking into a restaurant and saying, I don't want to wear a mask, and that person saying, get the fuck out of my restaurant, you'll wear a mask. They have that right to say that. You know, like, people think like I have a right to do this without consequences to other people's rights. And it's like, no, you don't. So
You're correct.
that's all I have to say about that.
But the one thing you and I did agree on is that the
developers,
the other developers
Yes.
do not
Yes.
deserve this.
Right.
No,
So
it's-
in this whole situation, okay, if Apple said fuck you, Epic, and anything that Epic developed and published, yes, but they have gone so far as to say anyone that's associated with the Epic engine, I agree. That's a problem because those developers do not stand with Epic. They're like,
Right.
dude, I'm just out here trying to make a game.
I'm just out here trying to
I'm out
make
here-
game dev
I'm not-
story. I don't
or
know what
not-
you
not
want,
even-
man.
or not even a game dev story, just like a lot of it's associated with like edutainment, you know, like
Sure.
educational entertainment. And it's like, no, like, why are you being okay, that's where Apple's being a dick about it.
Sure.
Okay. So like, if they want to say, screw Fortnite, you're out of here. Screw anything that Epic has put out on iOS, you're out of here. That's fine. But when you're like, oh, everybody associated with the, with the
Unreal
Epic
Engine.
the Unreal Engine. Yeah, I agree. That is a problem. Yes, you and I agreed on that. That no, that's not right, because they're probably just out there developing their game or working on an update, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you can't put your stuff on iOS. Wait, why? Oh, because Epic picked a fight with us. We didn't pick that fight. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'd be curious to know what % of iOS games are developed with Unreal Engine and what % of their top like 25 or top 100 games are developed with that, because they're going to end up hurting themselves.
that is, I agree with you, Michaela. That is a good question.
Well,
No
who's going to end up hurting
stats.
themselves?
Apple.
Epic?
Apple
Apple.
will, because they'll be kicking.
By being dicks to
Epic
developers
Engine.
using Unreal Engine, they might lose
Yeah.
some of their top apps.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but then all those people that are developing on Unity will just rise to the top.
Yeah, I mean, Unity's
So,
probably the second most popular.
So Apple will probably not give a shit. They'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute,
Well-
we're not going to make $1 trillion this year." Okay.
So from my
Fine.
understanding of the situation, and it might go a little bit beyond this, but like what I've read, Apple's been like Fortnite and anything like Unreal Engine related, but whereas
Sure.
in Android and Google has just been like Fortnite's been removed.
Yeah.
They have not done anything with the developers associated with the Unreal Engine. And I think that is where a lot of them are just going to be like, well, we'll put all our efforts into the Android version, like, fuck Apple. So being a Pixel 3 user, like, that marketplace is going to thrive for me on what's going to be there, what's going to be developed there. To be honest, I don't play games on my phone. I think the last one I bought was the Vlambeer, not the fish game, the fishing
Crazy
game.
fishing. Ridiculous fishing. That's what it is.
Ridiculous fishing. Thank you, Jason. Clutch. Carrying Team Sweat. But anyways,
That's your job.
I mean,
so
it's a mess. I mean,
feel-
Google might have a stake in, even though it's terrible, Stadia. plays games that are developed on
Does that still
Unreal.
exist?
It does actually. We just bought a new Chromebook and I got 3 free months.
Free months.
So apparently
3 months with,
Jason
like, 2
Marshall
games
is
that are
in
free. The rest you gotta buy.
Jason Marshall's in Google's pocket. He's been compromised. Everyone, we need to bail out.
There were
Oh, my
3
mic.
free months. No, it's a mess. I mean, Apple's not at fault here. I mean, they're pretty shady. Like the whole
Sure.
what they did with WordPress. Did you hear about that? They
No,
demanded
what they-
30% cut from the WordPress app. The WordPress app is free. There's no in-app purchases. What are you taking a cut of?
Exactly.
Like, so they can't update the app on the
You know what?
iOS store.
I'm gonna quote Billy Preston on this one. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Well, like it's
The whole
to a
thing's just-
point where it's like, what are you running? Do you even know what you're running? Like you were
Right.
saying, Jason, when you're asking for 30% of an app where it's free and there's no in-app purchases, do you even know what you're fucking doing? Or are you just
Well-
this big conglomerate who's like take money from everything and it doesn't matter? Like at least if it made sense. Like at least if like there was like maybe subscription to WordPress or something else, like they could at least say, well, we want part of that. But they like it's free.
I
There's
think there might
no
be.
in-app
But
purchase.
see,
I think
now
there's a
hang on.
premium version where
There
you
is
can
a premium
yeah.
version of WordPress, but it's not like an app.
No. Like
Through-
WordPress, it's base free, and I
You
think
don't-
the premium version just
you
lets you
don't-
have more control over SEO stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's that, but
laptop
like,
based.
but like,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
on
you
your phone.
you purchase that on your computer. You don't purchase
Right.
that.
Right,
Like,
that's
I
not
don't,
on your phone.
I don't think you even
So
purchase that on
maybe-
the App Store. You purchase that on
It's
the
browser
website.
shit. Yeah.
But maybe,
Yeah,
but
it
maybe,
ends up being
but
a
you see,
browser.
like Apple's been moving towards this point where it's like the App Store is also like their like the laptop App Store.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
where
exactly.
like they're kind of getting to be one and the same. So then
Mhm.
maybe that is where the issue is. But it's also like, it's like if it's through a browser, what does it fucking matter? Like if I go to a browser for a site and like get a premium, like what does it matter to you, iOS? Like that's when it's like y'all just know you're gonna start losing, like
I
greedy
think.
motherfuckers.
Well, this is
hope they burn in hell.
and there are smarter people than myself that will argue this in more articulate fashions. But this is capitalism at work. I'm not like a socialist or a communist by any stretch, but like I'm starting to see the holes and the problems with capitalism just by looking at things.
I think it's unchecked capitalism. It's to the point where it's exploitive.
Right,
capitalism.
but see, also
know?
like that also becomes just like okay, what does checked capitalism look like? Okay, so we're
who's like in the wife of Will Smith said in Enemy of the State, who's the watcher of the watchers? You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like what does check look like? What does this look like? And my thing is like, okay, Apple owns the fucking platform.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it as much as anyone else does, but fuck off if you don't like it. That's
Sure.
the platform. If you don't want to deal with that platform, guess what? There's Android phones.
And
fucking BlackBerry
this
phones.
is where you are 100% right, Moose. But I will say this: I think Epic to lead this dumbass crusade in the manner that they have.
Yes, we both agree it's a dumbass crusade.
Trying to say that Fortnite is like Prince in the 90s or like Apple in the 80s. Apple in the 80s is in a way different position than Epic is right now. All right. Apple was basically to my memory, Apple was basically a startup when they did their 1984 ad because IBM was trying to crush them. The App Store is not trying to crush Epic. Anybody who thinks that is the case is wrong on so many levels because Apple basically makes $1 billion a day, give or take a couple $100 million. because
pocket change for the rest of us.
Because how many of us know someone who has sent them an invite to send them Candy Crush lives in the past year? Thank you, Moose. Thank you. I still get I'll tell you what. There's been multiple reasons why I've wanted to delete Facebook off of my phone, off of my computer.
I did it.
And it's not because I'm sick and tired of seeing people be happy that their kids are doing great. It's because there's that dumbass fucking I went to high school with and don't want to fucking talk to anymore that I said, hey, please send me some Candy Crush lives.
All right,
you.
listen.
Now
you and I need to have a conversation about calling your friendship, because if you got a friend from high school you don't even want to talk to, sending you Candy Crush invites, that bitch is out the fucking door.
I mean well, now, okay, that goes into another deeper thing where, like, well, it does actually. I'm not going to try and make my situation here unique, but like, it's stupid. But some Batman.
It's stupid. Batman let it be stupid.
No,
see what we have to deal with. This is why we drink. This is why we drink.
No, so okay, all right, okay. I'll do this real quick. Just don't interrupt me. In high school, I had a traumatic event, and all my friends turned their backs on me, and no one wanted to speak to me until 2008, which was 10 years after I graduated. And all of those people on MySpace started reaching out. And I figured out why they were reaching out. It was because our 10-year reunion was about to happen because I graduated in 1998. And I said, oh, wait a minute. Y'all didn't want anything to do with me the last 2 years of high school or the 10 years since. You. I get on Facebook. I try in 2012 because that was why I was Shaniqua. Listen to Phoenix Overdrive's episode 20. That's the story. Stop. And if anybody wants to know the Shaniqua story, I'll tell it here because I don't know if that podcast is around for you to find it anymore. Anyway, I get invited to the 20-year reunion Facebook group for my high school. I joined like a fucking moron, and I heard all these people talking about how great their fucking life is, and frankly, I think they all lead boring lives, and I hope they fucking at me. Don't give a fuck. But when I told my story, they're like, oh, wait a minute. I remember you did this in high school. Fuck you. And I'm like, oh, great. So it's like no one has had a chance to grow. Now they send me Candy Crush lives or requests for lives.
Like, just fucking delete them.
And that is my fault. I allowed this to happen. I allowed this poison into my house. And I think
in a world you created.
I think I just need to delete Facebook. I'm so glad we had this talk. We can move on. Batman was announced this week. I believe it's called Gotham Knights. Jason lifted his head.
No, wait a second. You said Batman. So
yeah, Batman Gotham Knights. Isn't that what it's called?
No, it's just Gotham Knights.
No.
What the fuck? Someone explain this to me.
The
It ain't Batman.
Which is the movie with Patterson from Twinkling Twilight.
No, Pattinson.
I don't fucking care what his name is. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Everybody was shitting on him.
I'm gonna stop.
No, I'm gonna fucking talk, bitch. You're gonna let me talk. No. Everybody was shitting on him.
Let him go.
I didn't do it.
I did it. It's weird to have that power. You're back.
Everybody was like, he's going to be trash. Why are they got him being Batman? And you know what I said when they announced it? I said, whatever. Let's see what happens.
Watch that non-Twilight Robert Pattinson movie, and it's actually all right.
Wait.
Been in a million things since.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
my
whole thing with it was, that's fucking Twilight. You don't know what he's doing with Batman. All you know is he's going to be Batman. And now everybody.
It's not like he's going to be Batman with glitter.
Over Batman. And I'm like, y'all were hating on him. Y'all were hating on him like you were hating on Heath Ledger being the Joker. And then he fucking knocked it out of the park. Shut your goddamn mouth.
Wait a minute. Moose, hang on. Are you saying that hardcore fans are actually fucking fickle?
They're fucking idiots.
Wait, but
Why don't you take us out of here?
But all those people who
Bye.
pick Star Wars. No, we're not leaving yet. We're not leaving yet. No, Jason. You gave me the power. Guess what? You're in this for the long haul, sir.
Unless he leaves.
I mean, he can leave. I guess that's fine. But then we'll talk about Batman or the Batman Gotham Knights ourselves. I watched both of these trailers, especially for the Batman game and the Suicide Squad game, and I got nothing from them. So someone explain this shit to me, please.
So
Gotham Knights.
Oh, sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
Well, Gotham Knights is not related to the Arkham games.
There we go.
I figured that.
Suicide Squad is though, right?
Is Suicide Squad's in the Arkham verse.
Which one is Rocksteady doing?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Montreal.
Gotham Knights is
team
done
that
by the team that
Batman
did Origins.
Yes.
And
Batman
Black. They did Blackgate. I think they
I
did
don't
Blackgate.
know. I don't know.
I don't know who
the
did
history of
Blackgate actually.
I will look that up while you talk.
Gotham Knights is a 1 to 2 player co-op, and you can play. I don't know if they didn't really say if you just pick and choose or it's mission based who you play as. But you can play as. Well, they did that in the Arkham Knight, where you could do the combos, even though it's a different.
It wasn't Montreal. It was Armature Studios.
Oh, so it's totally separate.
Totally separate. Yeah.
But Gotham Knights is a non-Arkham related title. And Suicide Squad just takes place in the Arkham verse.
Right.
Which makes me, the fact that they stated that there's going to be some tie-in at some point.
Could be. You never know.
Great.
I mean, it looks like, I don't know, game-wise, DC is like wising up to what Marvel's been doing film-wise. And so they're getting some good things in place. I don't know if they're going to be able to fix their movies. From what I understand, the Zack Snyder Justice League edit director's cut.
The Snyder cut that they've been talking about for like
ever.
The Snyder cut is coming to HBO Max, and it's like, whatever, man. Nobody fucking cares.
Unless the Snyder cut's a different movie altogether, you can't fix a bad movie by making it longer.
Just make Wonder Woman 1984 or whatever the hell.
That's
it
right.
is.
And just roll. I agree.
Leave the rest alone.
They revealed the
Start
cheetah.
over.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Wonder Woman trailer.
As someone who's a really big fan of cinema, I really like the Criterion collection of DVDs.
Oh, no.
And they released the complete a box set called The Complete Mr. Arkadin, which is an Orson Welles film that was never finished by, as far as I know, was never finished by Welles himself, but put together by the studio. And over the course of, I want to say 2 or 3 years in various regions of the world, it was released in 3 separate cuts. And there's one thing that is apparent by watching all 3 movies, because I've done it, because I'm a nerd. None of those movies are good. None of the cuts that exist of Mr. Arkadin by Orson Welles are good films. I think there are aspects and this is a dumb thing that my stupid brain does. I think there are aspects of them, if you were to put all of them together, it would make an okay film. But what I realized from doing that exercise, from that mental math, is that the story is very good and very fascinating and very intriguing. It just wasn't filmed well. So as someone who's not seen the Justice League, will probably not see the Snyder Cut. I feel like
Avoid Justice League.
I feel like the super fans here will probably eventually come to the realization they are in that situation. rather than, oh, the Snyder Cut's so much better than whoever directed the actual theatrical cut.
So Whedon took it over because Snyder's.
Joss Whedon, fucking Mr. Overrated as fuck. I hate Joss Whedon.
The thing is, Justice League was
ruining people's careers because they're pregnant. Fuck Joss Whedon. I'm angry now.
The Justice League was 90% Snyder, so 10% is not fixing this shit. It was a bad movie.
That's true. I mean, that's a good point.
You literally tried to copy Marvel in one movie that they've been doing for 10 years. You weren't going to. You didn't have to. You could have just taken it slowly.
You could have just been yourself.
Well, that's that. I mean,
you don't do the ensemble film before you do the origins. You don't go backwards.
Yeah.
Why would you do
that?
that? I don't want to see the origin.
Have you ever seen
what like my whole thing was like,
I can't even keep a straight face through that joke. Anyway,
my whole thing is like, what was the last good Zack Snyder movie? Maybe 300.
How long ago was that? Like 2006?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like you look at Sucker Punch. Didn't he do Sucker Punch?
Did he?
That
was
movie
about 2009.
sucked.
That movie sucked. He did.
No, don't get me wrong.
Watchmen?
Looked great, but the story awful.
Oh yeah, the cinematics are great.
Yeah. The visuals are great.
If you take it as a piece of camp rather than a piece of film, it's a fun time.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay,
with
so
Michaela.
but see here, okay,
Yeah,
we can get into an argument about separating those two, but I'm not going to do that here.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have time, Matt.
Yeah,
We don't have fucking time.
Watchmen wasn't bad.
That was.
I will agree. Watchmen wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't like fucking knock it out of the park. This guy needs to do fucking Justice League.
What we should
fell asleep
do
during Watchmen.
is we should
What
do a
else did he do?
spin-off podcast called Story Route Zero Goes to the Drive-In and talk about movies.
I'm down for that.
All right.
I'm fucking down for that. What else has he done? Jason, he's like,
He did that. He did Superman. He did
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
He did.
okay, now Man of Steel is good.
He co-wrote Suicide Squad, which should tell you a lot because that movie was a dumpster fire and a half.
It had some good music.
That was the best part. The soundtrack is the only good part
Hearing
of that movie.
what's his name from Panic at the Disco singing
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That is the highlight of that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now can Moose take us out of here?
Are we done?
Was there anything besides DC Fandom?
Fandom.
I like how she said fandom.
No, she said dome.
There was. Oh, you said
the dome.
Oh, okay.
She said dome.
It
She
sounded
pronounced
like.
it correct.
Okay, I'm see it now. I'm a notorious lightweight.
Now you can't understand me if I'm not speaking in my Rhode Island accent, so I'll slip back in it for you.
Thank you very much. Just Thank you, Moose. You did this podcast a service. I don't know how to stop this.
It's stop. It says it doesn't say record. It says stop. I'm keeping this in.
Up top
No,
here where it says stop recording? Should I hit that?
Yes.
Okay.
That.
So I'm gonna hit stop recording. I'm like that episode of Family Guy where he's going to get a tattoo. He's like, I want a skull, but I know how to draw Kermit the Frog. But I want a skull. Okay, so I'm gonna draw Kermit the Frog. At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/phxodmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.